Welcome to Journey to Esquire, the podcast. I'm Jocelyn Hardrick, founder and president of Diversity Access Pipeline, Inc., the company behind this podcast and other great programs, like Journey to Esquire Scholarship and Leadership Program, which provides $2,000 cash scholarships to third-year law students and internships to second-year law students, along with leadership training and mentors. And Journey to Esquire, the blog, which provides insightful articles to help navigate you through law school and beyond. Find out more on our website, www.journeytoesquire.com.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Sivillo, and I just graduated from WMU Cooley Law School here in Tampa Bay. And it's just so exciting to be here right now. It feels really surreal, honestly, just knowing that I just graduated and being able to present in front of all of you. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm excited to share a little bit more about my experience. A little bit about me. Most of the slides that I created, or if not all of them, just have photos, and I just figured I wanted to try to show you guys more about me through pictures and talk about my story. So on the left, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and I decided to move here in 2016 to attend the University of Tampa. I got a really great scholarship, in-state, out-of-state tuition. There's a big difference between the two, and was able to get a really good scholarship to be able to attend that university. And on the right, that's a photo of my mom and I at my graduation, right before I decided to move here from Cleveland to go to the University of Tampa. And my family and I had always vacationed in Florida, but I never thought I would actually live here or be here. I always wanted to, but that really was a pivotal moment for me when I moved here from Cleveland. So this is, I call them my circle or my support system. This is me, my family. My mom and dad here are in the front, and then my grandparents, my stepdad's in the photo, and then my boyfriend and his family. And I wanted to highlight them just because I really could not have done any of this without them. I'm the first in my family to graduate from college and law school, and they've just supported me so much, even from afar. My mom and stepdad still live in Ohio, and my grandparents, and then my dad lives in Clearwater, and then my boyfriend and his family are here in like the Temple Terrace area. But just having that support system to call whenever I needed something, or hey, can you take me to dinner? I'm having a bad week. They just have been incredible support for me, so I wanted to feature them. So these are some pictures from when I went to the University of Tampa and graduated. And I wanted to highlight this because it was at the University of Tampa that I decided that I wanted to go to law school. I took some pre-law classes that University of Tampa offered, and I really, really liked it. I was really intimidated by the idea of going to law school and taking the LSAT, but I took some classes, did some writing, did some, mock trial, moot court competitions, and just decided, I think this might be for me. I took the LSAT 3 times. I remember my junior year, I studied for the LSAT over all of my Christmas break and took the LSAT the first time, didn't do great, second time, didn't do great, and then third time, I didn't do well. And I remember going through a period of time where I really thought, okay, I'm not going to be able to get into law school. My GPA from my undergrad was really strong, but I just did not have the LSAT score to get in. And I actually applied to about 10 law schools, and I only got into Cooley. So I felt really, really discouraged, and I really didn't have anybody to relate to because I didn't really know anybody that had gone to law school. My family kept saying, keep going, keep trying. They're very encouraging, but it just felt like a time where I was being rejected. And then finally Cooley Law School accepted me, and I felt like there was some glimpse of hope there. So that's kind of the journey of deciding I wanted to go and then getting an opportunity to actually be able to go to law school. So this is my law school interest. On the left there, those are some of just my achievements from when I was at the University of Tampa. So like I said, I was a really good student, really involved with my student organizations. I was Alpha Chi Omega at University of Tampa, really just put my head down and did my work and had that dream of being able to go to law school. I went to the law school fair. That's a picture of me on the right with the Penn State law rep. I didn't want to go to Penn State, but I was just trying to connect with people and try to find out more about this process. I had no idea when I went into that fair what to say, how to talk to people. And he just, really helped me that day and talked to me more about law school. And I said, hey, can we take a photo? And so as I was building this presentation, I found that photo, and it's just really funny to look back at because I remember I was so clueless that day about what I was getting myself into with law school. But yeah, that was like a little just glimpse of hope for me that I could maybe do it. And so then when I got into Cooley Law School, I immediately wanted to immerse myself in some student organizations because I, again, didn't know anybody that was at Cooley. I didn't really know anybody that went to law school in general. And I thought the best way to connect with people would be to be a part of the Student Bar Association. As Logan said, we started law school during COVID. So we, didn't have, at least I didn't have any in-person classes. Cooley was fully online. All of my exams were online, and I just couldn't meet anyone, student in my class, any of my peers. So I thought, I really need to get involved because I wanted to be a part of my community. And so this is a picture of some of the women that I served on the Student Bar Association with, and I was elected my 1L year by my peers, and that was huge for me because I was able to develop some really meaningful relationships with my peers and just get to know what law school was all about. At that time, actually, there was Journey to Esquire scholars that were new Professor Hardrick or Professor Hardrick was mentoring, one of which I have to mention is Yasmin Ramaha. She mentored me all of my 1L and 2L year, and I got to connect with her through student organizations at Cooley. And she just pretty much paved the way for me and told me, all the do's and don'ts of law school. And I just wanted to shout her out because she was a big part of that transition for me. This is a photo of a scholarship I won from the Hillsborough County Bar Association. I got to join the Hillsborough County Bar Association as a student when I was in I think it was the end of my first year. But I wanted to share this because I remember being in the airport after the first semester or the first full year of my 1L year at Cooley. And I was feeling really discouraged sitting in the airport because for sheer, it was so overwhelming. My mental health was really suffering with the fact that I was fully online and couldn't see anybody in person, didn't know any of my students or my peers. And I applied for this scholarship and thought, maybe I'll just put myself out there and see what happens. And I was sitting in the airport going home to Cleveland to see my family. And I got an email saying, we've accepted you to be one of our scholars and to have membership with us. And it felt like, okay, God is telling me you can do this, keep going. The first year was hard, but you're meant to be here. So that was really a big moment for me, and it encouraged me. And I just want to thank the HCBA for giving me that opportunity. And then shortly after that, in my 2L year, Yasmin Ramaha, she's down in the left corner, she started the Florida Association for Women Lawyers at Cooley. So originally we had a chapter at Cooley, but with people graduating, it kind of dissipated. And Yasmin decided, I want to recharter this organization at Cooley. And she reached out to me and said, I think you should join. And that was so huge for me because Florida Association for Women Lawyers is really, it goes hand in hand with the Journey to Esquire program. And this is before I started Journey to Esquire, but it really provides opportunities for women in the legal field and to allow women to be leaders in the legal space. And so joining that was really big for me because I realized that I had a whole network of people that were going to uplift me. And then it was our mission at Cooley to try to provide those opportunities for women and in the legal space. So I wanted to highlight fall because it was a big part of my law school journey. And I eventually went on to be the president of fall at Cooley and really just tried to host many events and opportunities for our students and for us to give back to our community. So that was a really, really important part of Cooley for me. Here's a photo of me, similar to how Logan was saying with her trial advocacy experience. I never thought that I could do anything like moot court or mock trial. I did a little bit of it when I was in my undergrad. Of course, it wasn't like as high stakes. It was, just for practice and for class requirements, but I never really thought I could actually compete. And I remember some students reaching out to me saying, you should try to compete in the moot court competition. And it was online this semester because of COVID. That's why you could see we're all in little Zoom boxes. And I thought, how am I going to balance this with school? I don't know if I'm going to be able to prepare. And then I just said, let me just give it a try. I just want to put myself out there. I had a lot of people encouraging me, so I decided to go for it. And I actually won the competition that semester. So that was really exciting and big for me because it was one of those things where I was limiting myself, thinking, I can't do this. I don't even know, anything about school or this competition. And I'm just going to give it my best. And that really motivated me to keep going. And it propelled me to then join the moot court board and to really just expand some of the skills that I had at law school. Here's a picture of myself at the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division Law School affiliate meeting. So when I was in my 2L year, I'm not sure if any of you know Daniela Mendez. She's fantastic, another big mentor of mine. She nominated me to be one of Cooley's law school affiliates. And then there's Daniel Cardwell, one of my peers. He just passed the Florida bar. Him and I were the law school affiliates, and Maggie Hassan. And we got to go to the affiliate outreach conference. And that was really awesome because I got to meet a bunch of lawyers throughout Florida. I got to represent Cooley, and I really realized that I was able to give students at Cooley a voice. We really didn't have much of a presence at this meeting or at this conference in the past. And it was really nice to be able to show up and be in that room and say, I'm here representing the students, and here are some of our concerns, and voice that to the Florida bar. And so huge networking opportunity for me. Again, something that I never thought that I would be able to do. And thankfully, with networking with Daniela and just her taking me under her wing, I was able to be a part of this. And then here's some more pictures of me at Cooley. This is, on the left, is a photo of me at the barristers ball. My peers, I apologize. My peers voted me for the Helping Hand Award. So I won that at the barristers ball in 2022. And then on the right-hand side is my dad and I, and that's the Distinguished Student Award that I won. And so again, just highlighting these because as 1L and even before that in college, I had these aspirations and dreams, but because I didn't know anybody in law school and was the first in my family, I didn't think that I was going to be able to achieve this. So both of these moments were just really humbling for me, and I'll just never forget them. And then this is at graduation, actually, about like 15 minutes before the ceremony started. But I took a picture next to the plaque where all the students who won the moot court competition, our names are on that plaque. And so I'm pointing to my name right before graduation. And my mom took the photo, and I said, "Here, look, I'm on the wall, and I can't believe it." So that's just a really fun memory to have. Another photo just of the Student Bar Association and some of the individuals that I got to connect with and that I'm still really great friends with. And really just the importance of this photo is the fact that I really got to make meaningful connections with my peers through Cooley student organizations, and I'm just really grateful for that. And then some more photos. I got to join Law Review when I believe it was the end of my 2L year going into 3L year. And that was really, really exciting, great experience. And I also, through my connections with the Florida Association for Women Lawyers, I connected with Hall, the Hillsborough Association for Women Lawyers, and won a certificate of scholarship. And am very grateful for that because it provided me with an opportunity to pay off some of my tuition and put towards some of that money toward some of the textbooks and things I had to buy during law school. So that was really big for me to be able to get that scholarship. So next, I want to move into meeting Professor Hardrick, because a lot of this kind of intertwined with when I started the Journey to Esquire program. I came to the program when I was a 2L. And again, Yasmin Ramaha reached out to me and she emailed me and she said, "Hey, Professor Hardrick has an opening for an intern to do the blog." She said, "I think you'd be a great candidate. Can I recommend you to her?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love that." I had Professor Hardrick for criminal law, and I really enjoyed being in her class and said, yeah, that would be great if I could connect with her further. And so Yasmin recommended me for the internship, and I got to connect with Professor Hardrick, and she gave me the opportunity to write the blog. A lot of the posts that were in the blog in 2021 and 2022 were some students from the program had written some of the past blogs. So I got to go in and edit and add photos. And I actually also got to create some of my own blogs, and they were focused on the program's mission. So I got to write about inclusion, diversity, equity, access, leadership, and service. And through writing those blogs, I got to learn so much more about the program and the program's mission and why ideals is so important. And I really enjoyed that because I got to put in time researching those topics and understanding why that's an important mission for this program and how I can now carry that forward with me in any other organization that I'm a part of. And even through my participation in Florida Association for Women Lawyers and the Student Bar Association, I really wanted to make it my mission that I would incorporate ideals in those organizations that I was a part of. And I wanted to provide opportunities for students like me who were first generation students to know you can be a leader, you can have equality, you can have access to the same opportunities, and you don't have to go to a school that might have a bigger reputation or already have people in the family that know about law school. There's a community for you. So that was really exciting to be able to do that. So here's a photo of me when I became the blog editor. And this is one of Professor Hardrick's posts on social media. And I got a lot of great exposure with some of the students at Cooley and then even friends at other law schools. And I remember being able to share the blogs, and it just really felt like I was making a difference and being able to learn more about the program. It was really an honor to be a part of it. And I just want to thank Professor Hardrick for allowing me to be the blog editor, because without that experience, I would not be here right now, and I would never have formed some of the relationships that I did in the legal community without this experience. And then here's one of the blogs that I wrote on the right-hand side. Again, some of the blogs that came to us were already drafted by some students and scholars that were in the program prior, and Professor Hardrick had reached out to me and said, we can use some of this from students that had already worked really hard on the blog. And so I went in and I edited and just made it a little bit more enhanced and was able to share some posts on the blog. And it was a really great experience. And then here's some photos of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers. I actually was invited to go to a conference to represent Cooley. It was at the Stetson Law Building in Tampa, and I got to talk about the successful things that Cooley Law School's chapter does for fall, and they chose me out of all the fall chapters. And that was really a huge moment, because Cooley students and Cooley student organizations, I feel, aren't always represented in our legal community. And for Florida Association for Women Lawyers to choose Cooley to be there, I guess I can't put into words how exciting that was for me, and to be able to be the person that got to represent Cooley and shake everyone's hands in the legal community and share things that Florida Association for Women Lawyers is doing for our students. It's just an honor to be there. And after I was able to participate in the blog, I became a scholar with Logan. Professor Hardrick reached out to me and let me know that there was an opportunity to apply. And I really felt so forever grateful for that moment, because I knew that I was going to be able to participate in all of the modules. I had already done a few of them when I was the blog editor and intern, but I got an opportunity to go through more modules and create more meaningful connections in the community. And I also was able to have more mentors and have financial support. I got to meet Logan through this experience, and I wanted to feature this picture as another part of that journey. So here are some of the Journey to Esquire modules that Logan and I got to go through. Some of them I participated in live during when I was a blog editor, and I wanted to highlight just a few of them that were really essential to the Journey to Esquire for me. So the first one I want to highlight is mentorship. Professor Hardrick connected me to Judge Baggy Hernandez on the right when I was a blog editor, and he was so kind. I remember being really nervous because I thought, there's no way a judge wants to mentor me. I don't know how that's going to work, or if we would actually have a meaningful connection. And Judge Baggy Hernandez immediately reached out to me and said, I want you to come to our office. And he sat down with me and gave me so much advice. I will never forget, he really steered me in the right direction in my second and third year of law school, because he said to me, do you know all the subjects that are tested on the Florida bar? And I said, I think so. And I started listing off some, and he said, you're missing a lot. And I was almost really embarrassed in that moment, because I'm like, I'm about to take the bar in less than a year. And here's this judge who I look up to, and I don't know all the subjects on the bar. I couldn't rattle all of them off. And he's like, go home, do your research, and come back to me. And so the second time that I met up with him, I said, no, I know all of them now. And we just laughed about it. But the point of that was that he really was trying to get me to take classes while I was at Cooley that were bar focused. So instead of taking maybe in an elective that I was interested in, he said, take subjects that are on the Florida bar. That's why I need you to know them, because you should take classes that align with that, and then you'll be more prepared. So I'm really grateful for just that conversation that I had with Judge Baggy Hernandez and the continual relationship that him and I have. He's supported me through the Florida Association for Women Lawyers. He has supported me through just trying to find jobs and internships. And I know that I can email him anytime and he'll be there for me. And, he's at every single event. I'm sure all of you probably have met him, and he's just around a lot, but I appreciate him. And then Professor Hardrick also introduced me to Kimberly Lopater when I became a scholar. And again, I was really nervous to connect with her because I really looked up to her, and in her career doing so much for the community. And so we had a Zoom call, and I just was so impressed with how real she was with me. I shared my experience about being a first generation college student and law school graduate, and she could relate to me and was just very authentic about what it was like to be in big law, what it was like to transition from law school to the bar and then to being in the legal field. And I really appreciated that advice. She doesn't sugarcoat things, and it meant a lot to me to be able to have that real connection with someone. And without the Journey to Esquire program, I would never have had people guiding me throughout the way and steering me to be able to go in the right direction. So the mentorship aspect of this is huge, and Professor Hardrick will go out of her way to make sure that you have someone that's mentoring you. And I'm just so grateful for that. Another part of it that was huge for me in the journey to Esquire was lawyer wellness. As I mentioned, really struggled with my mental health throughout the first year of law school because of the fact that we were fully online and I was just in my 1-bedroom apartment. I didn't have a roommate. My family wasn't nearby. Really, really struggled. And when I got to the Journey to Esquire program and listened to the modules about lawyer wellness and how important it is to take care of yourself and pour into your own cup, it really hit me that this self-care isn't just through law school. It's throughout life. It's throughout the legal field. And I was really appreciative of the fact that Professor Hardrick and the Journey to Esquire program highlighted on that, because I don't think that mental health is talked about enough. And I started using the Calm app after I went through the modules. I knew about the Calm app before, but I really just didn't take the time to research it or try it out. And I did the 7-day trial afterwards, and it's really changed just the way that my stress levels are and allows me to pour into my own cup before I go and tackle so many things in my day. So I'm really grateful for that module. And then the last part that I wanted to touch on is bar preparation. And this module meant a lot to me because I was in the program so late towards bar preparation, since I was at the tail end of my law school journey, and I knew it was looming and it was right around the corner. So to be able to have a module where it was solely focused on what do you do mentally, physically, emotionally during the bar, not only just the studying aspect of it, but how to just handle all those emotions, it was really important for me. And I'm taking that with me even now. I plan to start diving into the bar exam. I've already started studying for it. And Professor Hardrick was so gracious enough to send me some of her books that I wanted to feature on my PowerPoint, because I started reading them before I started bar preparation while I had some time. And she gave me a journal to write in. And I'm really big about that, especially because I've wanted to incorporate mental health. And so I wanted to thank Professor Hardrick for giving me those resources and for allowing me to know how important it is to prioritize your mental health and also to find joy during that journey. So thank you. And networking, I forgot about this one. Logan and I got to network at Butler with Mr. Katz on the left-hand side and Professor Hardrick. And this is another big part about Journey to Esquire program. You get to network with people in the community, not only your mentors, but also big law firms. I remember that day of going into that firm, and it was surreal for me because I'd never been in a firm like that. It's in the Sykes building in downtown Tampa. And it was just a really great experience to actually be in that space and to be a part of that presentation. So that was a really cool experience. Here's just a photo of law school graduation. I got to be the valedictory speaker, which my peers selected me to represent this class at graduation. And that's a photo of myself and President Dean McGrath and me receiving my diploma. And then lastly, the next chapter for me, I'm excited to share that I passed the MPRE while I was in law school, so I don't have to worry about that, thankfully. Another photo of me for graduation, and then I will be joining Cole Scott and Cassane as an associate attorney in September after I pass the bar exam, hopefully. So that is a little bit about me and my journey. And I just wanted to thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about my story. And I wanted to thank Professor Hardrick for mentoring me. She's going to be coaching me through the bar exam. And I'm just really, really grateful that I have that relationship with her. And I keep saying how grateful I am, but I am always so appreciative of this program, and I want to be able to support it in the future. So thank you so much. Oh, I forgot about this slide. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to show two two things about my journey and about my day-to-day that really keep me going. On the left-hand side, this is just one of my favorite quotes and reminders. It says, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. And I think it really ties into the Journey to Esquire program because there's an accountability aspect of the program with going through the modules and really learning about leadership, service, writing. It's really a full scope, and you can incorporate those things into your law school journey, but it needs to be consistent in order for you to grow and improve. So I love that. And then on the right, I was in a doctor's office in Tampa, Florida, and I was just having a bad day. And I saw this on the wall. I'm a faithful person, and I really believe that God has put me here for a reason and has connected me with all of you and with Professor Hardrick and Logan and this Journey to Esquire program for a reason. And so as I move on through the next chapters of my life, I want to put God at the center and thank him for all of these blessings that I have, such as this program. So thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another great episode of Journey to Esquire, the podcast. Support, share, subscribe. And for more, visit www.journeytoesquire.com.